Hi everyone, I'm Mikey Sabers and welcome to my channel. For this video, we're going to be going over some of the basics of the Vader's Vault combat class. Now originally I was going to do one on the Maelstrom, but I noticed that there's a lot of people who've been getting their first Vader's Vault saber, and some of them aren't quite sure how it works, and in some cases this is their first lightsaber period. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the basics, what you can expect to get in the box, how to set it up, how to turn it on, how to change the colors, as well as some do's and don't do's. So with that said, let's jump right into it. Now the first thing you're going to get when you open up your box is you're going to get your hilt. Whether you ordered your new protector, you ordered a Maelstrom, whichever one you ordered, you'll have that hilt in there. If you ordered a blade with it, you're going to get your blade. If you're a first-time owner, you're definitely going to get that blade. People like me who have multiple hilts, well, we don't really need the blades, so we'll order it without. You're going to get your Trustfire battery charger, your battery, which will already be in the hilt, and you're going to get an Allen wrench. Now the Allen wrench is what will take your retention screw in and out, and that's for the blade. So now that you've got everything unpacked, you've dealt with the massive storm of packing peanuts, and you're going to find those probably in your house for like the next 2 weeks. It's like glitter. You think you've gotten it all up, but you'll find a couple of pieces here and there for like the rest of your life until you move or burn the house down. And even then, 1 or 2 will probably survive. So once that's over, you're going to have your hilt. So you're going to want to put the blade in. So what I like to do is I like to make sure that the retention screw is out far enough so that you don't feel it in here. Just put your finger in there, feel where it's supposed to be, and make sure that you don't feel it protruding out. Make sure you don't touch the pins. Okay, the pins that are in there, the pins for the NeoPixel connector, you don't want to put your fingers on that. Okay, so once you've got that, also kind of brush up on it a little bit, make sure that there's no metal shavings, because sometimes when you turn the screw in and out, you might get like a little bit of shavings. Typically you're not going to see that because Vader's Vault is very, very good about getting all that stuff out before they send it to you, but it can happen as you take it in and out, you know, it can happen. So once that's all done, I'm going to take the blade, obviously, PCB side first. I know I shouldn't have to say that, but I'm going to anyway. Apply even pressure. Push it down nice and tight. You'll feel it. You can actually hear the pins go in. You won't hear it on this camera, but you'll hear it when you do it yourself. Once that's in, we're going to take our Allen wrench, and we're going to turn it just enough. So now it's starting to get a little tense. So now we're just going to do a little more. Perfect. You don't want to over tighten it. If you over tighten it, you're going to strip the hole for the retention screw, and that's a nightmare. I've done it myself, and it's not fun. It's a really bad feeling when you've got a brand new saber, and then all of a sudden you over tighten it and the screw falls out. Yeah, that's it's like getting kicked in the gut. So we don't recommend it. Good way to figure out if you're over tightening it, take a look at your blade. Okay, once you take your blade out, you should just barely see the indentations where the screw goes in. If you can just barely see it, you're doing it right. Give it a test, pull it, make sure it's nice and tight, that's good. It's not moving, that's good. So now you're ready to go. So now, turn the saber on. You have 2 switches. You have a main switch and you have an auxiliary switch. Depending on the saber you own, those will be located at different places. So traditionally, we have a main momentary switch, which is located here on one side, and on the opposite side, directly on the other side, you'll have an auxiliary tactile switch. Either one of these switches will wake your saber up from sleep mode. So just go ahead and press it, Okay, that's the boot up sound. Press it one more time. Saber's on. While it's on, your auxiliary button will control things like your deflector, your bolt deflection, and your lockup if you hold it down. Press it one more time and hold. Saber powers off. Just gonna let the light readjust there. Perfect. Okay, so that's the basics of putting the blade in, turning it on and off. So, how do we change the sound fonts? That's actually really, really easy, and it's actually even easier with the Crystal Focus 10, which all the new sabers come with. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your auxiliary button, you're going to hold it down.
Sound bank selection. Light.
So now that's telling me the light is the current sound font I have. So I can scroll through it either by pressing the main button or the auxiliary button.
Balance.
If I want to go back,
light.
So I'm going to stick with light because that's one of my favorite ones. I'm just going to hold it down. And now that's my selected font. Boot it up. Okay. Now, we've got a nice blue. Maybe I want to change that. So you're going to take your auxiliary button and your main power button, and you're going to press them at the same time.
Spectrum.
It's going to enter spectrum mode. All you need to do to change your color is tilt the saber up and down. Let's go with green. So I like green, so I'm going to press it again. There we go. Now it's locked in. Beautiful. Now what about those blade profiles? Ah yes, those are awesome too. So let's go back into spectrum mode.
Spectrum.
And now instead of tapping the auxiliary switch, we're going to hold it down.
Blade profiles.
So now we're in blade profiles. Now same principle. Tilt it until you get the effect you want. So this is the rainbow effect. Okay, and then you want to go back, same thing. We're going to hold it down again. Whoops. We're going to go back into spectrum mode.
Spectrum.
Hold down the button.
Blade profiles.
Okay, I'm going to go with the regular one. And there we go. Now, some sabers have different switch setups, okay? So this is your traditional setup with your momentary switch and your tactile auxiliary. Now, this saber, the Protector, has the dual tactile switches. The other sabers that have this are the Revanchist and the Sovereign. So with the Revanchist and the Protector, you've got a larger main switch, and right below it is a smaller auxiliary switch. Now on the Sovereign, both switches are identical. They're just two single tactile switches. Main switch is always going to be towards the top, auxiliary towards the bottom. Okay, so we've been playing with the saber for a while. It's really cool. We're doing some spins. Then we're going to get an alert that says crystal energy low. Or energy crystal low. I can't remember the exact words, but you'll know it when you hear it. When you hear that sound, that means your battery is dying. So you need to take it out and put it on the charger. With the exception of the Revanchist, the Legionnaire, and the Wrath, the combat class opens at the center with the new static chassis system. So you take your main body, you twist. Okay, pull that out. Set your main body to the side. And here is your battery. Now if you turn that over, you're also going to see here that you have your port, USB port. You can use that to connect it to your computer so you can get to the sound card. You need to do a USB-C to USB-A connection. I don't think a C to C will directly work. I could be wrong. If someone knows that I'm wrong, please comment. Let me know. So once you need to get to the battery, you're gonna, this section here unscrews. Okay, you don't need to take it out all the way. Okay, once it's out enough, you lift up, battery comes right out. Now you can also, in here, if we can see it, but in here is access to the SD card. You needed like a pair of tweezers or forceps. You just press that in, SD card comes out, and if you're like me and you prefer to work on the SD card directly by using a reader, that's how you can do that. So, we've got our dead battery. We're going to take our TrustFire battery charger. Obviously, it needs to be plugged in. I don't have it plugged in at the moment. It's just to show you. Negative side down, positive side up. Push that in. You're going to get a blinking light here indicating that it's charging. It'll go green once it's done charging. Sometimes you can get a false positive on these. So what I like to do is when it's solid green, I like to pull it down and then let it go back up and see if it starts blinking again. Just to make sure that it's not giving me a false positive. Happens every once in a while. The other thing with the chargers is you want to make sure that it's set to 4.2. Okay, there's a little switch on the side. There's a 3.0 and a 4.2. For the NeoPixel sabers, you want to make sure that it's on 4.2 so that you get the full charge. If you don't do it, you're not going to get a full charge and you're not going to get a lot of playtime with it. Once it's done, pop that out. When you're putting your battery back in, remember, positive side always goes towards the emitter. Positive up, negative down. Always. Put that in. Let it drop in. It's good. Now we're going to turn this till we hear sound. Okay, so it means the battery's got contact, completed the circuit. We're ready to go. I like to give it one more quarter turn just to make sure it's snug. Take our body, press it in, and we're going to start to slowly turn it. If it doesn't catch right away, you may need to put a little bit of pressure on it just to get the threads to catch. Then turn it, and don't over tighten. You don't want to over tighten. You don't want to over torque the threads because then it starts to get misaligned, and then it's just going to look weird because it's not going to look right. Let's see. So, a couple of other things. As I mentioned before, please don't put anything inside the emitter that doesn't go there. Okay, these sabers, with the exception of a couple of the, like the Windu. I think there's one other one that uses a 7/8. I think that might be the Ahsoka's. Those being the only exception, only a 1-inch blade should go inside these sabers. Don't take the side blades from your Vanquish and put it in there. Don't take a 7/8 blade and put it in there. Don't stick anything metal in there because it'll bridge the connections and you could cause a short, and then your nice new saber is a paperweight and you have to send it back. Okay? Don't do that. You want to make sure if you're going to get a blade plug, okay, make sure that it's a blade plug that will fit. Okay? So there are some companies that make NeoPixel blade plugs that you can get. I want to stress that if it's not made by Vader's Vault, there's no guarantee that it's going to fit. Yes, it's 1 inch, but there's certain tolerances that you have to understand are there. So gently try to fit it into the saber. If it does not drop in, smoothly, if there's like a lot of resistance, don't force it down, because you got to remember, if you have to force it to come down, you've got to force it to come back up. Okay, and it's a lot harder to get that out, especially if the blade plug is overall shorter than the actual depth of the socket. Okay, so you're going to have a really hard time getting that out, and it's not fun. So make sure that it fits easily. If you're going to go with something that's third party, make sure you do your homework. Make sure you sand down that connector so that it fits nice and easy. Again, no resistance, shouldn't have to force it down. If you have to force it down, stop. Next bit is anything you're not sure of, okay, regarding your saber, ask. Ask someone. Ask in the forums, ask on the Facebook pages, send a message to Vader's Vault. If you have a problem with something and you're not sure, don't try to figure it out on your own, okay? Best thing you can do is give them a call, shoot them a message on Facebook. They're very, very responsive. One of the best customer service in the business, in my opinion, and they will help you fix your issue, okay? The worst thing you can do is try to figure something out for yourself if you're not sure. You end up breaking something and then you've got to send it back, and then you're going to be a couple weeks without your saber, okay? So first rule of sabers, ask. If you don't know something, ask. That's the best advice I can give you. So with that in mind, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for those of you who may be getting these for the first time, or this may be your first Vader's Vault saber. I hope this helps you out. Please like and subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be putting out more content related to lightsabers and Star Wars in general. Leave a comment below if you liked it. Leave a comment below if you didn't like it. Tell me what you think could be better. Tell me what you'd like to see different. I really want to hear all sides. I want to hear good feedback and negative feedback. It all helps. So once again, thank you for watching. Have a great day.